Hello everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel, and in today's video I have a different kind of video for y'all, and I basically want to say I was wrong about something in the past 6 months. Now, I think it's important for me to essentially like call myself out or identify when I make a mistake. So you're probably wondering, okay Liam, what is it that you're wrong about, and honestly, I never thought I'd be saying this, but I genuinely think that the elo change was kind of mid. I'm not gonna lie. Now I know everyone watching this is like, Liam, you cried about how bad the elo was for years, I guess technically, yeah, years, and I still stand by that, right? Like, to this day, I will say what we had was the worst competitive rank system I've ever played in my life. I've been playing competitive games literally my whole life. Okay, whether that's video games or sports. Okay, just awful, right? Remember, y'all, back in the day, right? One loss on average was equal to about like 7 to 10 wins. It was that bad. And keep in mind, in a game where it's matchup dependent and like RNG dependent, having something like that was never going to be good. Anyways, fast forward, of course, KI listened to the community's feedback and they made the elo a lot easier to, actually rank up, and it's a lot more forgiving now. So in case you lose now, I think it's a maximum of 2 games or maybe 3 sometimes if it's like, really wide, but it's usually 2 games per loss nowadays, which is what, by the way, most elo games have. If you lose to a low rank person, it's two games worth of progress. So at least they're on the industry standard, which is good, right? I am thankful for that. But in the video today, I do want to, kind of play devil's advocate because, I think it's important to learn from my mistakes and all. And I kind of want to look at what we have now and what we had before and what's the same that is still kind of tilting me. And just an FYI, a lot of people called out before this elo change happened that, oh, Warlord wasn't going to mean anything anymore and all. And, compared to what it was before, I think I absolutely agree with that. But, like, at the same time, though, like, that was, like, the worst rank system ever. So it's kind of hard to, really pick a side in that case. But now it genuinely feels like anyone can get Warlord or rank up. Like, I'm not even trying to be, like, hateful here or anything, because I don't really PvP much right now until the season resets in 2 days. I already got my Warlords and whatnot, but I genuinely have seen so many hard stuck people just rank up. And I'm not going to say any names in this video, of course, because that's just, mean and whatnot. I don't want to rank shame to that degree. It is pretty crazy, bro. I've seen people who are consistently like low night veteran damn near get Marshall this season, and it's still the same thing they're doing. They're still doing they're playing meta enough so they could win, but then they're also doing some like weird off meta got it things, and it's like you're still kind of playing like a knight or a vet, but I guess because they've played hundreds of games and whatnot, they are ranking up. And I don't know if the system's designed that way or whatnot, and I guess in the long run, if there's more people in the higher ranks, it won't be as bad to rank up and get Warlord back and all. But then that kind of just defeats the whole purpose of Warlord in the first place, you know what I mean? And there's also people I've seen this season, again, not gonna name any names, but I am thinking of a couple that I've genuinely seen just like, I want to call them like a returning player because they're not like bad, but like they're really not good. Okay, I'll tell you that, right? And they can get Warlord. It's like, what the hell, bro? In my opinion, I think we do have a rank inflation problem, and I honestly don't even think I want to call it a problem, actually. Which is kind of weird. I'm kind of contradicting myself. That's the point of the video here. This system we have in the game is good for casual players. I will say that, right? Like people who, are mid or, haven't had the chance to rank up. If they play enough games, now they rank up and feel good about themselves. So, like, I'm happy for them. And by the way, if they are just truly getting better, then, props to them, right? I'm just saying my experience, like seeing these people play or, playing against them, not a thing has changed, but their rank has all of a sudden skyrocketed like 2-3 ranks. You know what I mean? Anyways, yeah, I do want to talk about the in between of before the update and what we have now. I got kind of sidetracked there, sorry. I'm just trying to provide full context and whatnot. I think the most annoying part of this elo system, whether it was the system before or now, is the same thing, right? When you are a high ranked player and whatnot, it's extremely frustrating to either lose to a counter matchup or RNG, you know? And the issue with that is there's also just not enough high ranked people in queue. Now you might say, Liam, okay, well, you're saying everyone's ranking up now, right? So in theory, there'll be more high ranked people in queue, so you won't, only get low ranked people because, not many actual high ranked people queue, because once you get your warlord, you sit on it because you'll lose it if you keep queuing. And honestly, maybe this is what the devs actually envisioned the rank system being like, or this is their way of like listening to feedback and all. I know me personally, when the elo change happened, once I actually like got my hands on it, or really realized how much better it was, I was actually kind of the opinion that it was a little too forgiving. I would kind of prefer somewhere in between what we had before and what we had now. But I think the devs said a couple months ago that that'd be the last time they would change the elo, and they're gonna work on like a whole new system and whatnot. Maybe some like hidden matchmaking system. I know like a lot of other games do that and whatnot, or they hide your actual rank type shit. So I'm really not sure there's a point in me making this video saying like, oh, I think it should be somewhere in between, because now it's too easy for people to rank up, and before it was like just like, even if you were like an extremely good player or top player, it was just like respectively not worth your time. But yeah, the correlation in between the one before and what we have now is, again, there's just way too many low rank players in the queue because no one with rank actually wants to queue, right? And then when you don't really gain much from a low rank player, and you lose a decent chunk to either, again, RNG, or they're just on a better school or some bullshit, it really doesn't feel good. On average, if you're like warlord or something, or marshal, like your queue times are 20 to 30 minutes. Like, you guys see this all the time on my stream. It is consistently 20 to 30 minutes, and it's absolutely painful, right? So if I have that long of a queue time, right, and then I queue the lowest rank possible, which is a knight, by the way, at warlord, which is like essentially a recruit to comparison. It's really annoying if that person is just on the counter school, or they're on a better school, or like I don't crit that I lose, or they get a May cast and I lose. It's like, okay, well, this is annoying, or they pull like all 8 of their auras or some shit. It's just really annoying, the amount of RNG in the game. And I think that is a very good thing to point out before and now, something that has stayed consistent throughout the whole elo thing. And we did say this, by the way, back when it was really bad, that in a game of RNG, just having elo like this is not a good idea. So yeah, ultimately, at the end of the video here, I can say that this new system is a lot better for the more, casual to mid player base and all. And I guess if you are a high rank person, I mean, I guess it does save you a little bit of time, which is nice. And who knows, maybe the devs actually stayed to watch this video all the way through and whatnot, and maybe they can actually figure out what the actual hell I'm saying. I think personally what I'm saying is, I like to not queue people low ranks, and I'd also like to queue or actually, sorry, I would like people with high rank to actually have a reason to queue, right? Because that way, our queue times at high rank won't be bad. We can play other good players and not have to worry about, you know, people doing some weird shit at lower ranks. I think that's the way I view it, you know, just give the high rank people a reason to queue and have an option to like not play low ranks or something like that. I know they used to have that back in 4th age, I believe, but it was the other way around. Like if you were a low rank, you'd have the option to queue a high rank. But personally, I wouldn't mind that being the other way around and things being a little more strict. Anyways, y'all, that's it for the video today. Let me know your thoughts and feedback about this in the comments below. Of course, I imagine I'll get some hate for this, being like, oh, Liam, you complained for years about this, yada yada. And I don't know, I thought I did a pretty good job at explaining my thought process in this video. I guess you guys can let me know if I did or not. Open to feedback, of course. Anyways, see you in the next one. Thank you for being here. Take care, and goodbye.